Last week I posted a video here on the channel where I showed the beta missions that were changed in GTA 5, and continuing from that video, as this one is a part 2, in this video I will be showing missions that were completely cut from GTA 5. This ranges from random events to Stranger and Freaks missions and full heists that would have been in the main story. So if you enjoy the channel, go ahead and hit that like button right at the beginning of this video. If you haven't seen part 1 of this video, I'll leave it at the end screen for you to check out. Trust me, it's really crazy. So without further ado, let's get started. Inside the missions.xml file we were studying in the previous video, we will find 2 more mission sites for Franklin. So I'm going to talk about the first one here, which consists of 5 missions, and then the second side, which has 2 more missions. The objective of this first set of missions was for Franklin to help 2 neighbors who were fighting and hating each other, with the goal of one helping to prank the other, which was completely removed from the final version. The 2 neighbors here in the script are identified as Lady A and Lady B. In the first mission, one of the neighbors would ask Franklin to go to the other neighbor's house and break the car window with a white weapon. After that, he would drive to the pier and throw the car into the deep sea. In the second mission, he would meet the woman whose car he wrecked and regrets destroying her car. So he and the neighbor whose car he wrecked, who in this case is Mrs. B, plan revenge against the first neighbor, who is Mrs. A. This first neighbor was very proud of her backyard. So Mrs. B and Franklin decide that Franklin would pee in Mrs. A's pool. However, when Franklin is there peeing in the pool, Mrs. A's husband arrives and calls the police, and Franklin has to run away. In the third mission, Franklin meets the neighbor A crying on the sidewalk, so they start driving around the neighborhood spreading gossip about neighbor B using a megaphone. In the fourth mission, Franklin helps neighbor B by taking neighbor A's husband, who was the same one who had seen him urinating in the pool earlier, to a bar where he would meet neighbor B. After neighbor A's husband meets neighbor B manages to seduce neighbor A's husband, who already had a crush on her, and as a result, neighbor A's husband cheats on her with neighbor B. During a moment where the two are having some relations that are written in the script, but I won't mention here, Franklin takes a photo and sends it to neighbor A. Further ahead, there is a 5th and final mission where Franklin will meet neighbor A buying garden shears, and neighbor B arrives and attacks her with a golf club. Then the two start fighting. Franklin can intervene or simply let them kill each other. There is a codename called Rush, which was the secret name for GTA 5 during its development. In this project, you can find the names of various things and characters that later match perfectly within GTA 5, and there are 2 names that fit very well for the names of these women from the removed mission. Everything indicates that the names of these women would be as follows. Neighbor A would be Mrs. Avery, who according to the description here would be a neurotic soccer mom, a 48-year-old housewife, anxious and drugged with painkillers, as well as very angry with neighbor Mrs. Bell. And neighbor B would be Mrs. Bell, who is a swinger, a smooth Californian divorcee, 45 years old, unattractive but comfortable with herself. These names are not 100% certain as they did not make it to the final version of the game, but they match very well with the description we have in this Rush project codename. Besides this Stranger and Freaks side quest, we also have another one that is part of 2 missions involving the character Dale, whose model is actually in the game and can be easily spawned using a mod menu. These missions would be carried out by Franklin, and there would be only 2 of them. In the first mission, Franklin would meet Dale outside the shoe store, and Dale would ask Franklin to take 10 photos of beautiful women for him. These photos could be taken during free roam, not necessarily within a mission, making it very similar to a collectible. After taking all these photos, the second mission would unlock on the map, and in the second mission, Franklin would meet Dale again at the shoe store, where Franklin would find out that Dale was planning to drug those 10 women that Franklin sent the photos to. When Franklin discovers this, he tries to stop him, but Dale ends up being faster, drugging Franklin as well. Franklin chases Dale even while drugged and kills him during a car chase, thus finishing the mission. There would also be one more mission from Barry, which would be another mission to transport magical substances, which did not make it to the final version of the game. In the final version of the game, we only have 2 missions where we transport magical substances using 2 old vans that we already know which ones they are that I have already shown to you. However, here would also have one more mission where we would transport this by helicopter as well. I think they ended up removing this 3rd mission because, I don't know, it would just be more of the same but in a different vehicle. Now let's talk about a mission that should have been in the main story. It wouldn't be Stranger and Freaks, but it wasn't included. I don't actually know why this mission was removed because I would really like to see it, since it involves characters from GTA 4 and it seems like it would have been a main story mission. This mission would be for Devin Weston and it would be carried out by Trevor and Franklin. I don't know which of the 2 would start and if it would be simultaneous or not. Anyway, in this mission we would steal a red Stinger car, which actually appears in the mission Pac-Man, and the car has a license plate that says Alpha Dog. However, the mission where we would steal this car that appears on the car carrier truck was discarded. This mission would be like this: to steal the car, Franklin would take a picture of a beautiful girl and create a profile of her on Facebook, which later became known as Life Invader within the game, but in the missions.xml file the name is still Facebook, got it? So I'm going to refer to it as Facebook here. Using this fake profile, Franklin would get in touch with Bruce, Nico Bellic's friend from GTA 4, who was passionate about cars and also liked to call himself Alpha Dog. Hence the license plate of the car in question that would be stolen would be Alpha Dog. Moving on to this mission, Franklin, pretending to be the girl, would set up a meeting with Bruce, who would show up with this red car. At the time of the meeting, Trevor and Franklin would pay a pretty girl to go to the agreed location and hang out with Bruce while they watched from a distance. When the two got out of the car, I don't know, to date, do something else, Trevor would take some photos that could possibly be used to blackmail Bruce or something like that. It's not very well explained, and meanwhile Franklin would get into the red car and take it to Devin Weston's garage. And finally, we have the mega heist of Sharmoota, which is the Sharmoota job. According to the missions.sml, this heist would have 3 stages: planning, preparations, and approach, like the final heist and so on. Michael and Trevor would steal the vault of Marty Madrazo, a prized horse, and then proceed to kidnap Marty Madrazo's wife. Just to provide some context, most likely this heist would take place right after the Caida Libre mission. This means that Michael and Trevor would have visited Marty Madrazo's house, scoped it out, and so on. This is when the dialogue in the Caida Libre mission happened, where Trevor mentions wanting to rob Martin Madrazo's house, leading to a misunderstanding that they were hitting the house, and Michael refuses to steal from Martin.
The little fertility statues, whatever. The guy has trouble getting it up. We'll clear 2-3 million on those, easy. Perverts will pay anything for hope.
We weren't casing the joint.
We didn't agree to a fee for this job, so what's it all about?
Okay, the guy lives well. That don't mean we're robbing him, but it does mean he's got money to pay people who help him. When the time comes, he'll do the right thing.
However, according to the files here in beta, I think that at this moment, the planning for this heist would begin. The planning would happen as follows. Michael and Trevor would pretend to be a gay couple interested in acquiring Martin Madrazo's ranch, which is for sale. They go there with a real estate agent. They schedule the meeting, use different names for themselves. I think Michael's name would be Albert, something like that. I don't remember exactly. There are actually several audios and dialogues that are still in the game files. And in this mission, where they supposedly go there to look at the house, etc., they discover that there is a painting and a safe behind this painting. The safe is embedded in the wall in addition to an award-winning horse at Martin Madrazo's ranch worth millions of dollars. By the amount of audio files about this heist in the game, we can see that this heist reached a very advanced stage of development and then it was cut. So basically, according to these files, we would have 3 ways for this heist to be executed. In the first approach, Michael would be dressed as a thief, kill the guards, and enter the house stealthily. After they gain access to the safe, most likely with some hacker or something like that, Patricia would wake up and hear the noise. When she goes to check, she would be subdued by Trevor, and Trevor wouldn't kill her because when he met her in the mission Caida Libre, he was already kind of smitten, you know, there he even says that. And after that, instead of killing Patricia, Trevor would use her as a hostage to get into the getaway van where Franklin would be waiting, while Michael would escape through the back with the prized horse. On the second approach, Michael, Trevor, and Franklin would arrive at Martin Madrazo's ranch during an event that Martin Madrazo was hosting. They would disguise themselves as mimes, and once inside, they would take everyone in the house hostage. Due to the noise inside the house, the guards outside would be alerted. Meanwhile, Trevor would sneak out the back to steal a horse, while Franklin would secure a rope to the safe, tie it to a van or another pickup truck, but I understood it was a van, and then accelerate to pull the safe off the wall. After the safe is removed from the wall and Trevor manages to steal the horse, the guards would arrive at the ranch, leading to a big shootout. After the shootout, they would successfully load the safe into the van along with the horse. Trevor would then hold Patricia hostage, threatening that if anyone followed them, Patricia would be killed. Some images inside the game files in the PC version of GTA 5 show Martin Madrazo's vault room during development, with the vault being pulled out of the wall with a rope tied to it, suggesting that this vault was actually going to be ripped out and like there would be a specific cutscene for it and stuff. On the third approach, Trevor, Michael, and Franklin would arrive at the location dressed as clowns instead of mimes, arriving during the same party but a little earlier. Instead of taking hostages, they would start performing some tricks to distract the guards. Franklin would first start entertaining the crowd with magic trick, while Michael would try to stealthily steal from the safe, and Trevor would try to gain access to the stables and steal a horse. As Trevor made his way there, Patricia would notice his action. When Trevor was close to stealing the horse, Patricia would spot him. Instead of killing her, Trevor would subdue her, causing her to scream and start a shootout. However, no one would shoot Trevor because of Patricia. They would successfully steal the horse and the safe, kidnap Patricia, and make their escape. The horses that would possibly be used in this mission are still in the game, but there is no accessible model, only a non-rendered one. However, you can see the horses themselves on the in-game TV. Perhaps they are the same horses that were used in Red Dead 1, as they appear in a Pisswasser commercial, in an episode of Fame or Shame, and in the movie Capolavoro at the in-game cinemas. So there really was some sort of horse stage there and all, but the guys completely removed it from the final version. Then since this heist was completely removed, they adapted it to fit within the Caida Libre mission, with Trevor taking out the house, then assaulting Martin Madrazo and kidnapping his wife. Because in any case, Patricia would be kidnapped in the end, and it would be by Trevor, as he had a little crush on her. So the guys just scrapped that whole heist and made this little ending that was kind of improvised, but there are a lot of game files. Maybe one day I'll even try to simulate what this complete heist would look like. Tell me in the comments which mission impressed you the most and which one you really wanted to see in the final version. There were other modifications as well, right? For example, there are the beta endings of GTA 5, which I didn't include here because they are just endings. I already made a video about it, so if you want to watch, click here next to the yellow arrow, dude. It's really good. There are 4 beta endings that were removed, which I'm sure you'll enjoy. That's it, guys. I hope you liked it. Until the next video then, take care and see you in the next video.